a lot of incredible news came out for Dogecoin and Bitcoin that'll surely alleviate some fear that's in the market right now. Starting with the first one, Coinbase Commerce announced two significant updates to its platform. Coinbase users can now avail of the exchange's free and instant payments to merchants in the platform's network. Also, the exchange announced the addition of 7 new cryptos, including Dogecoin. Merchants are free to manage the cryptos they are prepared to accept, turn off the ones they don't wish to accept, and choose to hold or auto-convert crypto balances to USD. The platform removes friction and increases the flexibility of crypto payments on both sides of the ecosystem, taking another step towards mainstream adoption of Doge. So it's a really big deal for all Dogecoin holders. Another major news for Doge is that its network activity was up by 30%, with number of unique addresses constantly rising. The same goes for Shiba Inu. Basically, they both hit 7-week highs in network activity. This just means that the interest in Dogecoin isn't fading at all. Also, another big thing happened today. MicroStrategy added to its Bitcoin holdings with a new purchase of 480 Bitcoins. So the software firm bolstered its holdings by 480 Bitcoins for a combined sum of $10 million. Each Bitcoin was purchased at an average price of 20.8K and brings MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings to 129K Bitcoins. If you don't know, MicroStrategy adopted the strategy of buying the dip over the last 2 years. Right now, the firm's Bitcoin holdings come down to a massive $3.98 billion. Also, we have to remember that they purchased Bitcoin even after facing huge losses after the market crash. MicroStrategy had borrowed $205 million from Silvergate Bank to acquire Bitcoin in March, and at the moment, the company's Bitcoin business is recording losses northwards of $1.5 billion. This just goes to show that MicroStrategy is incredibly serious about Bitcoin and it fully believes in the potential of Bitcoin. Also, one of the wisest minds in the crypto sector, the CEO of Binance, noted that MicroStrategy's move will pay off in the future. He noted that in the end, the decision to acquire more Bitcoins would be an added advantage for the company in the long run. He also said, "Many may laugh at him now, but Saylor will get the last laugh in time." Bookmark this tweet. But then there was some really bad news that came from India. We know how India has always been really critical of the crypto market. So the Reserve Bank of India reiterated its skepticism of digital assets. They issued a statement recently saying that, "We must be mindful of the emerging risks on the horizon. Cryptos are a clear danger. Anything that derives value based on make-believe without any underlying is just speculation under a sophisticated name. This is another thing that'll create a lot of FUD in the market, so we need to be mindful of it." There are more than 50 million crypto users in India, and so statements like this are eventually going to add on to the massive sell-off that we've seen recently. Now let's quickly talk about Bitcoin whales for a minute. It says here that Bitcoin whales have been filling their bags in bullish sign as Bitcoin balance on exchange hits critical low. So, with Bitcoin's price plunging below $20,000, on-chain metrics depict an increased level of buying activity. Whales, or people holding over 10K Bitcoins, and shrimps, or people holding less than 1 Bitcoin, have been adding a lot of Bitcoins to their on-chain balance. The accumulation trend score metric has continued to return high values above 0.9 throughout the month. Also, a significant number of investors have heeded calls to withdraw their assets from exchanges in an attempt to lower the risk of selling. According to data from on-chain analytics firm Glassnode, roughly 8,755 Bitcoin, which is worth over $181 million right now, were withdrawn from crypto exchanges in the last few days. This just means that whales and shrimps both are incredibly bullish on Bitcoin right now. So then question is, who exactly is selling all their crypto holdings? The answer is simple: the weak hands. These weak hands are flushing out of the market every day, only leaving the strong hands that continue to buy the dip every day. Eventually, we will bottom out and slowly the price will begin to rise again. This will then lead to new players' renewed interest in crypto and they'll enter again. And eventually, we could expect Bitcoin's price going up again. Now coming back to data, on Monday, Glassnode also published a report that shows the reserve risk metric. This metric has also plunged to all-time lows. In their report, the firm wrote that this metric is heavily weighed down when there is an excess of holding behavior. Basically, the metric plunging to new lows indicates that Bitcoin investors generally remain steadfast in holding onto their coins. And this is despite the fact that Bitcoin has suffered huge losses this year. Talking a bit more about Bitcoin, one of the biggest analysts out there has issued a stark warning for the crypto market. So, crypto trader Michael Van de Poppe said that Bitcoin must hold the $19,300 region as final support. He said, "Interested to see price reaction here, but looking for more confirmation overall before entering into longs." Van de Poppe then shared a chart theorizing what Bitcoin must do to confirm a bullish divergence. He said, Bitcoin is probably seeking for something like this to confirm bullish divergences on higher timeframes too. He then briefly talked about ETH, saying, "Important area for me on ETH is the area between $1,140 to $1,170. Would like to see it hold if we want to see further upwards momentum. If not, then $1,060 area is the next one for me." Also, another important fact is that Bitcoin's trading volume has synced by around 60% in only 9 days, and that is per the official report from Arcane Research. If you don't know, the trading volume is an indicator that measures the total amount of Bitcoin being transacted on the network right now. When the value of this metric goes up, it means the number of coins changing hands on the chain is currently going up. Such a trend may show that traders are finding the crypto attractive right now as the network is becoming more active. The Bitcoin trading volume sharply rose up and got close to the highest value for the past year just a couple of weeks back. However, after peaking out at around $9.2 billion on 19 June, the indicator's value started facing some sharp downtrend. The report notes that the uncertain conditions of the current Bitcoin market may have resulted in investors becoming more cautious. This has led to them making fewer trades on the chain, which is why the trading volume has sharply plunged down. Coming back to predictions, according to a new Bloomberg report, JP Morgan analysts say the crypto market's current deleveraging trend may not last much longer. The analyst also suggests that crypto firms going under shouldn't be a surprise given the falling prices of digital assets. The strategists say the latest crisis at Three Arrows Capital, which saw regulators from the British Virgin Islands recently mandate its liquidation, was a manifestation of this deleveraging process. The JP Morgan strategists say crypto entities and venture capitalists are stepping in to contain the contagion, which should shorten the crypto bear market. JP Morgan then cited crypto exchange platform FTX as an example, with the firm recently granting credit lines to embattled crypto projects, as well as considering acquiring them outright. Now coming back to some data, it says here that Bitcoin just had its worst month ever. Bitcoin lost more than 38% of its value in June only. Let's try to analyze why this happened. In May, the popular US dollar-pegged stablecoin project USD imploded, tallying a $60 billion collective loss. Then in early June, lending firm Celsius paused withdrawals for customers, citing extreme market conditions. Also, prominent crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital defaulted on a loan worth more than $670 million on Monday. And on Thursday, FTX announced it'll buy crypto lender BlockFi for $25 million, which is 99% below BlockFi's last private valuation. This effectively wiped out the company's equity investors. All this comes amid industry-wide layoffs at major crypto firms, including Coinbase, whose stock fell about 40% in June. And all of these things affected each other to an extent, creating even more FUD and thus extending the bear market even longer. Now coming back to some bad news, the SEC has rejected the ETF application from Grayscale. Also, Grayscale Investments is pushing back against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for this decision. The thing is that in addition to Grayscale, the SEC also rejected Bitwise's application for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Also, it has previously rejected a slew of other proposals for spot Bitcoin ETFs, including from Fidelity and Van Eck. Following the decision, Grayscale has filed a petition for review with the United States Court of Appeals. And this is more of a good news than a bad one, because this is something that'll definitely scare the SEC into accelerating their process of accepting the first ever Bitcoin spot ETF. Also, I think it's more than fair for Grayscale to do this, since its Bitcoin trust traded at a massive discount following this decision from the SEC. As I said, this is overall a good news for the crypto market, as it'll add more pressure onto SEC. Now let's look at CoinMarketCap for a minute to assess how all the cryptos have been doing today. Bitcoin is down below 20K again. On the weekly chart, Ethereum lost quite a lot as well. But the biggest losers were Cardano and Solana. Doge, on the other hand, traded sideways. Now, as I've said before, this ETF rejection from SEC is going to have huge implications for the entire market, and I'm worried. But as soon as it gets accepted, expect to see a lot of institutional money coming into crypto. And this is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you like it, please share it with your friends and family. Also, please like this video and leave a comment about your predictions for the crypto market. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.